Welcome to Acurio Beyond Business, where we dive into the journeys of exceptional founders shaping the future of their industries. Today we are speaking to François, one of the co-founders of Indexa Capital, a leading fintech company.
Hello.
Hi, Katie.
How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you
Good to
very
see
much.
you.
Founded in 2015, Indexa Capital offers affordable, transparent wealth management services, using technology to make investing easier and particularly more accessible to everyone.
Thank you so much for having us here today, François. I think that it might be quite interesting to start right at the beginning, no?
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps going back to when you'd finished studying, then what you thought that you wanted to do, and then we can delve into a little bit what, all the amazing things that you've done since.
Okay, thank you for coming to visiting us, Katie. So I studied commercial engineering or management engineering. It's a study in Belgium between engineering and business management. Because I thought it would prepare me to be an entrepreneur. Then I went to work 2 years for a Boston Consulting Group in Brussels and Paris.
Yeah.
Also to learn, because I thought it's a good place to learn.
But when you were there, you already had in mind that...
I thought I go there 2 years.
Okay.
I got the promotion. I earn as a consultant, but I will keep spending as a student.
Yep.
I save money and have the money to start the business.
As the
That
buffer.
was the plan, yes.
Did they know that there or not?
No, because it's a long-term career. So actually, I waited for the promotion, and when I got promoted, I told
you kindly told them you were
would leave to Spain.
Okay, and just stopping there for a second, when you decide to leave BCG, and obviously one of the best consulting firms in the world, and move to Spain, how does that come about?
So I met Marta.
Okay.
I'm her husband. No?
Yeah.
We met in the university in Belgium.
Okay.
Marta is from Spain.
And she was studying there.
She was doing an MBA there, and we were sharing some classes between business engineering and her MBA.
Okay.
So we knew each other there. Marta came back to Spain, then came to Brussels to work for 1 year. And we decided together to move back to Spain and to start a company.
Okay, and how was that for you? Because suddenly you are going from, a corporate to becoming your own boss, but you're doing that in a completely new country. Mm-hmm. I presume you didn't speak the language then. Tell me, what was that like for you?
So it's a little bit of luck and hazard as well, because I was talking with some French company, a startup, online booking company in France. They wanted me to open Spain for them. So it was an easy launch.
Okay.
And with Marta, we thought, okay, we start the business, but we won't start your business. We will start our business.
Yeah.
And in place of starting a hotel booking company, which was already quite competed because booking was already there, we decided to go to a niche market, which was rural tourism. And we decided to launch Top Rural as a rural house, rural accommodation search engine.
Okay, so let me just get into situation. It's at that moment, just you and your girlfriend Marta at the time. Mm-hmm. Where were you living? How were you living? That must have been difficult.
We come to Madrid. We look for an apartment.
Yeah.
We take a very large one, but a very cheap one.
Okay.
And so that we could have the business in the apartment. Part of the apartment, one room maybe or two, would be for the work.
Yeah.
We start Top Rural, bootstrap, with very little investment or own money saved from BCG and a little bit of friends, fools and family.
Okay.
We started in 2000.
Yeah.
Very, very bootstrap, but very low cost. And even ourselves, we were spending so little. So I remember sometimes we were going on holiday with friends.
Yeah.
The friends would go to the hotel and we would go to the camping, to the campsite.
Oh, wow. So you were really kind of living pretty frugally, which I think is amazing.
Buying chicken, no money for the meat. I mean, we wouldn't buy red meat because it was more expensive than the chicken.
And do you think that has shaped, François, how you've worked since then?
So the stress with the first business is really high. Because actually we had no experience. I had no experience in Spain, no experience in tourism, no experience in rural tourism. I hadn't been in a rural house in my life before. No experience on internet and no experience in starting our own business. So the level of actually we managed to hire people with the experience we didn't have. So because we built a good team. But the level of stress at the beginning is really high. So I got hypertense with
hypertension from it.
With 24 years old. I mean, it's
oh wow! So the level of stress was pretty real, and it was actually having an effect on you. And how were you acquiring the customers, spending so little? What was your marketing strategy for such a kind of new concept?
Back then, it was product and SEO.
Okay, SEO.
Because SEO was working, was the beginning. It was before Google actually. In the year 2000, more or less. I didn't know Google when we started. But it's always been about product. So we thought if we give the best search engine for the customer are going to use us. And then if the customer is, and if we have the traveler, then the owner is going to pay.
Yep.
That was the idea. We started for free with travelers and with all the accommodation for free. So totally free to catch the ground.
Okay.
To position ourselves, and then we started to offer. It's a classified business, so we started to offer the one who pays is showing up above in the results. Very very easy.
And how did that grow? From I don't know, the first kind of few years.
Well, it's a long time ago, but it's growing through media because the media would talk about us. It grows through SEO, a lot of traffic from Google.
Yeah.
And then the owners are getting to hear about us because they would receive inquiries from a website they didn't know. So, where are you calling from? I've seen the accommodation on Top Rural. Well, what's this? I'm going to check. They would ask us to take control of their property.
Okay.
To modify the prices, the information, and then we grew in. So we basically started with 4,000 accommodation, and then we grew to almost all of them.
And once you'd accomplished that, where I presume it turned to monetizing, what was that path like?
We launched we came to Spain in March.
Yep.
We launched the website in July, and in August, my uncle from the US my aunt is living in the US, and she's wed with an American, my American uncle. They came to Madrid, they were at our house, and he asked me, how is the business doing? And I told him, it's doing great. We have 500 visits per day.
Yeah.
We have 4,000 accommodation, so many reviews from travelers and so on. And he asked me, but how much do you charge? Are they paying you?
Yeah.
And I told him, no, they are not paying yet because we're just conquering the audience. And he told me, if nobody is paying, you don't have a business. You have a hobby.
Yep.
No, it's what you are doing is spending money. Actually, you're not. So I thought, okay, I have to get customers, and I called the day after.
Yeah.
I called the most visited accommodation on the website.
Yeah.
Alejandro from Asturias and Gonzalo from Granada.
Yeah.
And I told them, look, if you want to, we were starting to offer the paid promotion. It costs 240 euros for 1 year. And if you're not satisfied after 1 year, we just give the money back. So you pay. But if you're not satisfied after, no question asked.
We'll give it back.
It went so well that when we sold the company 12 years later, they were still paying a much higher price to keep their position because we were respecting the seniority on the website.
And that was at the point at which you were then acquired.
Yeah, then we sold the company. we got acquired by HomeAway.
And HomeAway integrated Top Rural into their offering.
And HomeAway got acquired by Expedia, and so now Top Rural has been integrated into HomeAway, Expedia.
Let me stop you there. So we find ourselves 12 years into Top Rural, grown it to 4.5 million ARR, very impressive. Okay, so you do the 6-month handover period. You sit back, I presume, in a different apartment to the one where you started at, and what goes through your mind then? Is it immediately, I need to build the next business?
Oh, no.
Okay,
So
tell me.
we had the two situations in home. So Marta sold Rentalia, because I didn't mention before, but in parallel with Toproral, when Toproral got profitable, then we launched Rentalia. And we sold Rentalia as well,
At the same time?
Same month.
Wow.
Because one of the buyers were expecting us to sell the other company. So HomeAway didn't want to buy Toproral as long as we were the owners of Rentalia, which was a competitor of HomeAway.
So that forced you to have to sell
So
Rentalia.
they wait for us to sell Rentalia to Idealista.
Okay.
In 2012.
And what ARR was Rentalia doing approximately at the time?
So Toproral was 4.5 million and Rentalia was above 1 million.
Understood. And that is sold to Idealista. Just very briefly touching on multiples at the time. Things have changed a lot in the last few years, but they were generally done as multiples of revenues back then. So was it a life-changing amount of money for yourself and your wife, or
yeah,
not?
we sold Toproral for 3 times revenues, 8 times EBITDA, and it was 14.5 million. It's public. Because HomeAway was listed on the Nasdaq, so it
had to be public.
It had to be public. Rentalia we didn't disclose. Of course, the whole of the company was not ours. So
yes.
We had a share, but still it was a significant amount of money. And we could have not started another business. So after Toproral, I was so burnt of many things that actually it got too complex, too intense for me the first time. I decided I didn't want to be an entrepreneur again. So I moved to being an investor. Not so nice as it looks like. Actually, as an investor, you have to say no a lot of time, all the time. Actually, it's the entrepreneur think about the nice part of investing in their business, but 99% of the time you're just saying no to people. And after a couple of years, I had my my fallback. I fell back
into the
like they say, the goat treks to the mountain. I thought, okay, I prefer to launch a business, to build. We met with Unai.
What was it about Unai? Because I think what's really interesting about your journey is that although you were on paper a sole founder, the truth is that you work very closely with your wife and in some ways always had that sort of, as you said earlier, sounding board. What was it with Unai that made you think, okay, this partnership makes sense to me? Because it is, pretty risky.
Unai is a physicist.
Yep.
Is a doctor in quantitative economy.
Yep.
Is a chartered financial analyst, and is a university professor of risk in the financial sector. From an academic perspective, he's one of the best prepared people in the sector. He's young, and he was willing to start something. So he had everything that I didn't. It's financial knowledge, and also the prestige as a very recognized people.
The credibility,
in the sector.
Absolutely.
I think it chose me because I had the internet experience, marketing, the product building. So I'm mostly a product guy actually. So I like very much usability, user experience, product design, product testing, customer relationship in order to improve the product.
Yeah.
And so we were totally complementary.
Good
he could
match.
be the financial guy, and I could be the front with the customers.
And so, realizing we don't have a huge amount of time left, and I've got so many more things I'd like to ask you. So you start Indexa. Or what we know today as Indexa Capital.
So we started Be Water. A friend, Ramon Blanco, sent us such extensive and clever feedback that with Unai we decided to broaden the co-founder teams.
Okay.
Because 3 is actually better than 2.
Okay.
It's a better equilibrium.
Yep.
What happened with Be Water is that it was too original and too complex from a regulatory perspective, and we had to pause it.
Okay.
We didn't stop it, but we
just
paused.
thought we'll pause it for now, and then
and then when we paused, Unai has this idea of Indexa as a side project. We were already working on it.
Okay. But it just gets accelerated.
And we decided, okay, we pause Be Water and we give full steam with Indexa. What happened then is that it took us 4 years to unpause Be Water.
Okay.
4 years of regulatory process.
Wow,
with,
that's a long time. Yeah.
Spanish supervisor.
Yeah.
And luckily, we didn't starve in the meantime because we were busy with Indexa, and actually Indexa was a much simple idea. Much more simple because we were replicating a model that was already existing in the US, in the UK, in other countries. Not too original, but very disruptive for the customers. So we brought actually a very good way, the good way to invest, which is with diversification and low costs.
Yeah.
And we managed to offer that to the Spanish customers at the beginning, and then to other countries.
To international. So you go out to market initially to Spanish customers, offering something which here was quite innovative at the time, and touching on one of the most sensitive subjects, which is people's personal finance and economy. What was that strategy like from a marketing perspective?
It's a very different sector from others because it's about trust, actually. And we are in wealth management. The people are delegating to us the management of their savings, sometimes a lifetime savings, and many times most of their money is delegated to Indexa. So it's not something easy to start.
And the responsibility is huge for you guys.
The responsibility is huge. The responsibility is quite mitigated by the regulation and the controls.
From a legal perspective, but perhaps from the emotional perspective.
The emotional perspective is important. My grandmother asked me, when I told her I'm launching a wealth management business, and she told me, "Are you sure? When you lose money,
people hate you.
You know what's going to happen with the friends who have invested in you, the family." And but the Indexa model is quite good in this perspective because we always say that we don't know what is going to happen.
Yep.
We don't know what the market is going to do.
Yep.
We are not able to foresee the future, and we think that the others are not neither.
Agreed.
So actually we tell the customer, we are very transparent in this, and we tell them we have no idea what the market is going to do, but usually the market is doing on average well.
Yes.
So we just invest in the market and reduce the cost. So what you will get, actually we tell you what we are going to do and we do it.
Yes.
And what you get is what the market is
So it's actually relatively transparent. Absolutely. So where are we now, François? How many customers do you have today in total? What is your revenue and where are we going? You know?
So maybe before that with the trust. So it's about trust, and we decided to some trust points. So we needed to build trust. The trust is partly the founders, because people know Ramon, Unai, myself. The trust is partly the investors, because we have important investors. Among those, the very early stage in our company was Acurio. The advisors, we hired very top advisors, more famous than we are, to give more trust around the business. We published reviews from customers. We were very transparent on cost, on the portfolios, and we tried to build trust on many things. And we started with one new customer every 2 days.
Okay.
That was at the beginning. One customer every 2 days, 15 customers in the first month, which were friends and family actually. And then and then it was a kind of a snowball effect, because the happy customer
refers and then
flywheel
effect. Absolutely.
So it's totally
self-fulfilling in a way.
Self-fulfilling model with a slow growth at the beginning, because we start from zero,
and then
but it compounds. And after almost 10 years, so we're not yet 10 years old. But almost after 10 years, we have 105,000 customers.
Wow, that's impressive.
We are the independent asset manager with more customers in Spain So the only one with more customers are banks, commercial banks, large banks. Those banks have been around for 60 years, 100 years, 150 years. And in less than 10 years, we got in the top 10 of portfolio management in Spain.
Yeah.
We managed 3.3 billion euros from those 105,000 customers. And we are growing in AUMs 51% in the last year. So it's big and not big. I mean, it's big for us because in 10 years to reach 3.3 billion, it's quite an achievement.
Absolutely.
Nobody did it before. No independent player got there so quickly. But still, it's a very small market share because we only have 3 billion in a 650 billion market.
Percentage-wise,
so it's a 0.5
it's less than 1%.
market share.
Yeah.
And we aim for the 99.5. We won't get the 99.5, but we aim for it.
But it's a pretty impressive time, yeah, absolutely.
And so we opened 4 years ago in Belgium from Spain, and then we launched France 2 years ago with a local company. We did a small acquisition last year in France to accelerate a little bit because our growth abroad is very slow. We got the company listed a little less than 2 years ago on the Spanish alternative market, BME Growth. So we now have Indexa Capital Group, which is a listed company, small listed
but still very
company.
Exciting, absolutely.
And quite international because we have the subsidiary in France and 8 people working in the French team.
Okay.
And a lot of potential market to grow. So that's the aim.
So for now, that's the idea, no, to grow internationally. Maybe just touching on briefly to end, we haven't talked a lot about the investor journey. With the fact that you guys have now gone public, does that mean the end of your fundraising journey?
Actually, we think that raising money is part of the means that we need to grow
to get to the end.
To get to the success.
Absolutely.
So in comparison to our competitors, we raised significantly less money. We raised in total for Indexa 4.5 million, which is still a lot of money because we are in the financial sector and we need it, the regulatory capital, the authorization and so on. And so we are comparing similar size competitors which raised 30 times more than we did.
Wow, okay,
So we are definitely the most capital efficient competitor in the online
sector.
wealth management. So that's very different for Indexa. We did our last capital increase in 2018.
Okay, and how far are you and the other 2 co-founders diluted? I mean, are you still
we have close to 50% among the 3.
Okay.
The rest is family offices and a couple of venture capital.
Okay.
So 50% founders, 50% venture capital. I think we got diluted too much. Founders, we usually think that, but it's okay. I preferred to do a low valuation capital increase and without doing a roadshow. We wanted to have very few investors, selected investors, and to raise money not more than necessary. And so we became the first automated investment service, independent automated investment service. That what we do at Indexa, the first one to become profitable, to reach break even in Spain, in Europe, and probably in the world. We don't know any other automated investment service in the world that got to profitability before us. So we did a small acquisition last year. We did it with the own cash and a little bit with credit that is going to be converted in shares.
Okay.
So that's one of the advantages to be listed is that we can buy with.
You can use that avenue as well to grow.
Part of the payment is going to be with shares. For the next acquisition, if it's much larger, then we would need to raise capital.
To raise another.
So raising capital, we don't plan to raise capital, but maybe we will raise if there is an opportunity to invest this. Yes.
Amazing. Well, I think we're going to end with that note now, which is your amazing, path to profitability, which is so relevant in today's world. And a huge congratulations, François, for everything that you guys have achieved. I think your story is exceptional. And thank you so much for your time today and for chatting to me.
Thank you, Katie. We are very proud of our investors as well. So
Good.
It's a pleasure having you here in the modest office.
No, lovely.
We have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you so much for watching us today, and hopefully see you again next time. Bye.